Welcome one and all to the 7th and penultimate round of the Asia Cup for the C5 category. And we're here in Singapore under the lights. And we're just waiting for the first cars to start coming out for qualifying. And we'll be underway, ready to get racing. Hello, Brent. And who's going to be the first one out of the track. So I think everyone interested what tyre strategy people just decide to go for. Of course, C5 historically a few more safety cars than some of the other tracks, so we'll have to see how it all fares. The first man on track is Crankybot in the Williams. We'll see what he does when he gets round and starts his flying lap. But so far everyone's got the soft selected, so maybe going for a banker lap. And yes, big news over the course of today. Magic Buchanan is not racing this evening. He should be back for Suzuka, but this does mean that Bogorovsky can go level with him, and I mean this is going to make a very, very interesting final round in the C5 if Bogorovsky and Nelboy have a good race today. Because if Nelboy can get the win today, he goes within 3 points of Buchanan. Bogorovsky gets the win today, he goes level with Buchanan, so it can go straight down to Suzuka in the final round next week. So it's very interesting. We've got to keep an eye on those two over the course of this evening, because the championship battle, well, we thought originally it was all done and dusted. Buchanan only needed to outscore Bogorovsky by 1 point today if he was racing. So a very interesting development for the championship for the C5. Nevertheless, Crankybot making his way towards the end of the lap, and we'll see what the Williams driver can do under the lights as he works his way towards 22 and 23. Okay, nice wide entry, try and carry some speed there, and opens DRS, and now he's going to start his flying up. He's got, I believe, Nova just behind him as well. Spags upgraded the Mikey podium to the win for this evening. I think the Toro Rosso just getting out of the way there of Crankybot, but you never know what could happen. Mikey seems to always have great pace, and hopefully he can stay out of the trouble in between the walls in Singapore. And Crankybot does a 27.1. It's a very good first sector time for the Williams driver. I see another car just pulling out the way there at the moment, and he's got Nova on a flying lap just behind him, and I think the Toro Rosso might hold him up a tiny bit, but I think Nova's gotten away with that one. A bit compromised going into turn 9, but we'll have to see how his time fares in comparison to Crankybot as Crankybot goes very wide through turn 11 as he drops down towards the hairpin. Brake Gorilla's actually gone fastest in the first sector, but Crankybot, yeah, has he gone purple in the first middle sector, of course. And what's Nova's time looking like? Very similar between the pair of them. And we'll see what Crankybot does as he comes towards the end of the lap. Mikey's got great quali pace as well. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. See what he does as he's on an out lap at the moment. I think he's just behind some of these cars, but Crankybot coming towards the end of the lap. It's going to be a 1 minute 38.5 as the first lap. Nova comes across the line, beats that massively. A 1 minute 38.75. Ralph has just set a very good first sector time, and Ross actually goes onto pole position with that time, getting into the 38.4s there, just sneaking under the 0.5 marker. We'll look further back, and I don't mean to put all the pressure on him, but we'll have a look at Mikey's qualifying pace as Broke Gorilla goes into P4. We'll follow Mikey through this lap. I think it was a 27.1 is the time we have to look out for in that first sector, and it's Satil on the hard tyres has gone into 4th place, so a very good lap on the hard tyres from the Alfa Romeo driver in 4th and 5th at the moment. And Waz has actually gone into P3, Mikey's teammate. Mikey's setting a 27 flat in the first sector. That's a very good time, and currently fastest in that first sector. And we'll see keeping it nice and tight and using all the track importantly, as there's yellow flags behind him. That's not going to affect him on this occasion. And we'll see now as he goes down towards this very tricky part of the lap, 10, 11 and 12. Just missing that inside apex, but clipping the next one as he comes now around the hairpin, using first gear, get a bit of extra rotation. I think one of the Red Bulls has gone off. Is that Bob Rossi? No, he's just come out the pit lane. I think Ross has had an incident down at turn 14, and Mikey just going past that. I think Ross maybe outdoing himself on the brakes, but Mikey, as he comes now towards the end of this lap, utilising that curb at turn 17, and he drops underneath the grandstand now, keeping it nice and close to the wall, utilising the curb. We'll see what the Toro Rosso driver can do. RTG Matey has set a time for 9th, and Nelboy's gone up in a P2, so one of the championship contenders. And Mikey, oh, he's overcooked the final corner and invalidates the lap. Unfortunate for him, and he's going to have to go again, but it was a good lap shaping up for him. Picosas has invalidated his lap as well. Let's see who else is on a flying lap at the moment. I think Broke Gorilla's on an in lap. RTG Matey might just be doing a couple of laps on those hards, get a bit acclimatised to the track, and never know, the time could be good enough. With that's where he starts the race on. Of course, is quite a killer for Tyre Singapore, and the softs do not last very long, so not a great race tyre, but can definitely help you in qualifying, probably about a second over the medium tyres, which I think everyone is holding out for, is what it currently looks like. Bogros is actually the first person to put on the mediums, and we'll see if what his time's going to look like, because I think that's generally the preferred race start tyre. As Crankybot coming out for his the second round of laps. See further down the field, Kalau on a lap nap time now, coming through sector 1, opens DRS. Let's see what time he gets. Can he get into the 27s? And he does. 27.1 seems to be a very common sector time in the C5 at the moment. Got Frickion just making his way through the middle sector. Law coming to the end of that first sector. Didn't quite see the split time, but he seems to be pushing very hard. I think these three all on laps at the moment, and Kalau's actually invalidated his lap. So unfortunate for the Williams driver. I'm going to have to watch the Ferrari of Frickion now as he comes towards the end of the middle sector. He's 1:05.6. I think that's a good time off the top of my head, but it looks like I think just Mikey pulling to pit lane might have made a small error. He has his front wing, but seems to be some yellow flags down there, so I'm not too sure what happened. Maybe overshooting the pit lane, but Law was actually a 26.8 in that first sector, so I don't think we've seen anyone. He's gone purple in the middle sector as well. Law in the 1:04.2 for the combined time. Frickion just coming to the end of his lap, but I think Law could be even going for a time that could challenge some of the top. Frickion though comes around, takes a nice wide line to make sure it doesn't invalidate, and DRS open towards the line now. It's 1:39.8. He goes into 9th. And we'll see what Law can do as well. Seems to be absolutely flying at the moment, does the Renault driver. Seems to have it all hooked up. And now as he comes around the final corner, opens that DRS for the short run to the line. It's pole. What a time. 1:37.1, currently 1.5 seconds clear. And that is a cracking time from Law, putting himself onto provisional pole. But the time we have to watch out for now is Bogrossi on the mediums, the first person to set a time on the mediums. Yes, first one to set a time on the mediums. So this is a very important lap in qualifying now. Comes around the final couple of corners and using a nice healthy bit of curb there and towards the line. It's going to be 1:39 flat, so it goes into P6. Fastest person not on the soft tyres, so I think he'll be happy with that at the moment. But yeah, there's still quite a few guys ahead on the soft tyres, which could cause a problem near the start of the race. Nova going again and a little bit down on his time at the moment. Bit of grass flying out there or something. And Law, I think, is on an in lap at the moment. See Kalau setting a time as well on the soft tyres. I think a lot of the guys in C5 going for the soft strategy at the start, as Crankybot currently up on his time as well. I think who's that coming towards the end of the lap? RTG Matey at the moment is on the hards again and going for another lap. Coming towards the line now. I think we have Broke Gorilla, who's done quite a few laps on these tyres, and I think he might be coming into the pits on this lap. And he is. Cranky Bot though, one of the guys on a flying lap at the moment. I think Picosa's just coming towards the end of his outlap. 2 cars up the road, Ralph as well. Ralph on the medium tyres. So is Ross. I think Madchip's going to do a lap in a moment, and Picosa's just about to start his lap on the mediums as well. Cranky Bot comes around the final corner, and it's going to be a 1 minute 38.8, almost a 7/10 improvement there for the Williams drive, and that puts him up into P7. We'll see who else. Ross just about to start his lap on the medium, so I have to keep an eye on him, as well as Picosa's actually got the wrong McLaren. It was Nova just finishing his lap, and he goes up into P2. Very good lap in the low 1 minute 38. I think he'll be happy with that on the soft tyres. But Ross, can he improve from that 1 minute 38.4 on the medium tyres? Oh, we've got someone down. I think that might be RTG Matey. Has had an incident down at the hairpin. Wet race. Is it a wet race? Brent's saying we have a wet race. And that will be absolute scenes. Oh, we've got another little bit of a car park. As Cloud doing his best to get out of the way, and that's compromised. Satil goes on the pole though. A 1 minute 37 flat, but that's compromised Ross massively on his medium tyres. And I think, does he have front wing damage from clipping the wall? He doesn't. Oh, Brent doesn't know. Oh, he's just got that feeling at the moment. I have to see how it develops. But Ross, he's still up on his time though, but he's cut that corner a bit too much and invalidates his lap. But to be fair play to still be up on the time after. I mean, Cloud, he was sort of stuck in no man's land, I think, where he was. Did his best to get out of the way, but did compromise the Red Bull driver going through turn number 10. Wazza invalidated his current lap, so he's going to have to try and find time elsewhere. And we'll see Cranky Bot coming to pit lane as well. Ralph doing the same. Picosa's on his medium tyres. Start of the race is wet. Start of the race is wet, according to Magic Poop Cannon. Can't race today, but is watching on to keep an eye on things. And Picosa's, I think, was very, very close to his first sector time. And we'll see what Picosa's can do as he comes around the middle sector. Because, it's a 27 flat from Picosa, so he hasn't set a time yet. And 104.7, that's a good time, especially on those medium tyres. So we're looking to try and challenge Ross and try and get ahead of him, because Ross is currently. Actually, Ross's time is on the soft side. I think anywhere in the low 38s will be good for Picostas. And we'll see what Picostas can do as he comes through the big chicane of 20 and 21 and towards the final 2 corners. McLaren, he's won the last 2 rounds as well. Picostas 50 points out of the last 2 races, and he goes up in a P3, jumping his teammate as well, getting in the 37s. What a lap time from Picostas, especially on those medium tyres. And he might even be looking to make it 3 in a row. And I mean, 3 races go, you wouldn't have even put him in the title fight. And now Picostas is right up there, currently sat in P4 in the championship. He's got 60 points to his name, 50 of them coming in the last 2 races. Ross has gone again, actually, so he had a bit of a cool down and he's trying to go again. He's a little bit up on his middle sector time, but can he improve? That's the key thing here. He needs to improve on his current time. Just about avoids an invalidation penalty, and he comes around the final couple of corners. Can Ross? He runs a bit wide, and I think he's going to go almost into the wall, and he does lose out in the end, just underneath 2 tenths down. So Ross, as things stands, starting on those soft compound tyres. Because it's just on his in lap. We've got Madchip. I think has had maybe invalidate his lap because he's coming in on his mediums. So maybe not feeling that lap at all. Broke Gorilla up in the middle sector on his time. He could be looking to try and challenge Madchip in front of him. Of course, Madchip currently starting the race on the hard compound tyres. So we'll have to see if Broker will be wanting to try and get past that Mercedes. He's got yellow flag and Wazza's out of the session, and I think he's spun it out, and he's hit the wall and skated across the track. So that's Wazza's qualifying over, but at least he's got a lap in, on 1 lap old soft. So be happy with that. Mikey now, I think maybe just setting another lap, trying to get his first valid lap in this session. Hopefully for him, his teammate will disappear, and he does, and it's a 27.1 in the first sector for Mikey. And he'll be hoping not to have the same thing will happen to his teammate, and he manages to avoid that. Mikey will be does have good qualifying pace, I hear. So see if he can put it all together. The middle sector, you can lose and gain a lot of time here. Very aggressive through there, and he's definitely benefited from that. And he's to get a good launch down, going down into first gear. A bit of extra rotation, and as he now shoots off down the Espionage Bridge. It's a 104.9. It's purple in the middle sector. We did say he was very aggressive through there and utilising all the track on the exit now. As I think Frickon's gone up into... Oh, Russell's retired. I think he's retired in the pit lane. I think he's calling it quits at this stage with only 2 minutes left in the session. But Mikey could be challenging a time that could be in the 1 minute 37s now. Mikey, as he works his way round the last couple of corners, and we'll see if he can just about keep this one. He keeps it a lot cleaner that time around. And towards the line, it's a 1 minute 37.9. Mikey is up in the third, just nipping in to the 1 minute 37s. And importantly for him, ahead of Pecostas. And now Bogorovsky on the soft tyres, 5/10s up and goes into P5. Not happy with that lap on the medium. So the Red Bull driver going out once again. And he's put himself into the hunt with Nova just behind him. And Nova improving by almost 0.4 of a second at the moment. And can he keep that delta positive now as he comes through the final part of the lap? And he could even be looking for a time, then go up into third. As he comes around the final corners with a 3/10 improvement, there's a lot to gain for Nova. Have a lot of guys in the high 37s. He runs a little bit wide through the penultimate corner, but across the line, it's going to be 1 minute 37.9, and he's just behind Mikey, but slotted ahead just in front of his teammate. Mad Chip is going on the softs. And the other Toro Rosso, I think just getting out of the way actually, down at turn 8. Mad Chip just about to start a lap on the soft tyres. Look, Satil on a push lap at the moment. We've got Mikey, I think, on an in lap. So Mikey, that is Mikey's qualifying time. I think the same for Nova, as he's invalidated his current attempt. Let's see what Satil can do. Can he improve from that 37.0, which is a very quick time? And again, he's replicating that pace, and he's purple in the middle sector, but he is a 1/10.5 down. Mike's got a massive following, and all the support for him, it must be said. Can Satil hold it together? As broke Gorilla as I just retired in the pit lane as well, so don't have to worry about that on track. But Satil coming around the final course, got 18 seconds left in this session. And can Satil improve? Of course, he had pole in Baku. It was a very impressive pole time in Baku, if I remember correctly. And around the final couple of corners, can he get to 36? It's an improvement of 0.06 of a second, and he does a 1 minute 37.052, and that puts him even further ahead on provisional pole. But we got RTG Matey gone into P7 on the medium tyres after doing his early laps on the hard. What can Law do? And he's at almost 2/10s up there. Fantastic first sector time from Law. He must be running very low downforce to get times like that, but we'll see if he can hold it through the middle sector. He's challenging him and Satil in a class of their own at the moment on the soft tyres, and we'll see if Law can improve to that extent. Mad Chip, though, coming towards the final couple of corners, is 1.7 seconds up, so this could be another time that will be very impressive. And Mad Chip has gone on pole. It's a 1 minute 36.6, and I mean, we were saying how well Satil and Law were doing, and Mad Chip has responded excellently. A massive improvement on those soft tyres, and he takes provisional pole, and that'll be helping out the Mercedes team massively. But Satil has invalidated his lap, so he is... Oh no, he crossed the line, didn't he? So Law not up at the moment. We've got Pecostas on the soft tyres. He's deciding not to go for those mediums. Personally, I would stay on the mediums, the furthest guy forward on the mediums, because the soft tyres just fall apart very, very quickly. You have to pit around lap 6, 7. But Costa's going to do a time on the soft tyres, it seems. He's not going to pull into the pit lane, so he will start the race on this set if he improves. And he does improve with a time of a 1 minute 37.3. Goes up in a P4. He only gained 2 positions there. But starting on the soft tyres, so following suit with everybody else. And I think that is qualifying done and dusted. As Satil, just on an in lap. But Mad Chip with one lap on the softs, as he lets the Haas driver know he's there. But of course they're not running the cars at the moment, and Magic Poop Gallon very happy with Mad Chip's time. Of course, Mad Chip on 55 points at the moment, Poop Gallon on 99, and Manchip can definitely help out his teammate here, and you know, get ahead of Bogros, get ahead of Nelboy, and get ahead of Precostas to make sure they don't get as many points. But very interesting thing, Nelboy not had, I think, the perfect qualifying, and down in P11 at the moment. So he's got a lot of work to do, but I'm sure he can find his way through. But I think if we look down the field, there's one. It's just RTG Matey who's going to be, you know, from the top 10, who's going to be starting on a different tyre. So good work from him and sticking with the medium hard strategy, it seems, at this stage of the race. But of course, we could have a safety car at any point. It's a Spang and Chips approves of Mikey's lap in P5, just getting into the 1 minute 37. Actually leading Nova in the 37.9s, but now qualifying that Manchip came absolutely out of nowhere, getting a 36.6, you know, 4/10 clear of Satil and Law, and Precostas very much in the hunt to get his third win on the trot. And a very competitive qualifying. There's a lot of duels up and down the grid, and we're hoping for the exact same in the race. With there are a lot of positions in the championship which are, you know, very closely separated. So you know, a good finish from someone down in maybe sort of 10th, 11th can maybe even throw them up into, you know, 5th, 6th, maybe 7th. Oh, and it is rain. It is rain for the start of this race. I'm surprised everyone didn't go for softs. But yes, the suspicions were confirmed. We have what seems to be a heavy rain start to the race, because the rain is really coming down, and this is going to throw a spanner in the works for strategy, for drivability, and that is heavy rain. Wow, this is going to throw a spanner in the works. It's very tricky conditions on any track, but Singapore definitely one of the hardest in what is the full wets, and it is full wets for everyone on the full wets. But well, hopefully it might dry out. We get a bit of changeable conditions, and we'll just see, just to make sure everybody is on the wets at the moment. Everyone on the wet tyres, so definitely very wet at the moment. But with a long race, it's you know, definitely has the chance to try and dry out. So hopefully we might get some of that as well. But Manchip leads the field round the grid, of course, after a fantastic qualifying from the Mercedes driver, and he's really helping out his teammate, and it's also their constructors battle haven't sealed it up just yet, and being on pole position would definitely help them out with that at the moment. But it's still in second place. Oh, and into the wall is Law. I don't think you can get damage, but see, it's very tricky even on the formation lap, because I think that is Kalau who's followed him in. I don't think there is damage on the formation lap, but see, very tricky conditions, and got a few people in the chat suggesting that some guys might have been driving with wet setups on, so that might have hid their true pace. But luckily for the guys that have gone off, there's no damage on the formation lap. But this is going to be one hectic start, I am sure. As up and down the field, we'll carry on with the orders. We got slightly distracted there. We got still in second, Law in P3, who is now down in last, but of course he'll move back on the third. We got Precostas in fourth, Mikey in P5, Nova 6th, Klaus 7th, got Bogrossi 8th. Of course, a win today can get him up, can get him level with Magic Poop Cannon. RTG Matey in 9th, we've got Ross in 10th, Nelboy 11th, another person very much in the championship hunt, Waz at P12, Ricky on 13th, Ralph 14th, who is sat on the grid at the moment. CrankyBot, I think, has joined him, which is why we can't see them. And Broke Gorilla rounds up the field down in P16. But Manchip coming round the final corner, and this is going to be one hell of a start. I think, you know, you can see on this formation lap, very tricky conditions with the guys going off, and I think hopefully we get a nice clean start but not too sure about that. We've got the final cars rounding the grid. I think Law will be the last person to come around the final corner, but he'll slot into P3, making a small mistake on the formation lap. But we await the lights now as Law slots into P3. What's going to be a very, very tricky start to this race. We've got a fantastic shot from Madchip, but Satil in second as well. But 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go in the rain in Singapore. It seems to be a great start from Bacostas, trying to go up into first place. Didn't manage to get the speed though. And slotting ahead is Madchip further down the field. Everyone's got through cleanly so far. Very tentative on the throttle. And running wide, I think, is Kalau. He's gone very wide in turn 3. But so far, everyone keeping it clean. Very impressive stuff. So far, RTG Matey up 3 places. And Bacosta's already up into P2. But Madship is off and into the distance. RTG Matey losing the rear end. Then further back in the Hassan's going off there. I think that might be Wazza dropping down the field. And he managed to get it spun round. Ross has gone up 2 places as well. But apart from that, Wazza spinning there is going into turn 7. We've got cars batting as Mikey's still in P5 where he started the race. But going into P8, turn 8, everyone keeping it clean at the moment as we look further down the field. We've got Ross on the back and Nelboy gone up the inside of Kalau, but Kalau holding on to that P11 spot at the moment. Fair play to everyone so far. It's been great driving, and apart from that, once more incidents, Nelboy almost losing the rear end of his car, but further up the field we've got RG Matey trying to battle away with Mikey, but holding on to position. And further back we've got Nova trying to hold on to that P7. There's a bit of contact between them, and Ralph is out further back. Ralph has gone straight on, and we have a safety car from it. Didn't quite see what happened to Ralph there, because he was incident down at turn 10, but Nova's held on to position against Ross. I don't know if Ross had wing damage. It looks like they collided as they went close to the barrier of turn 11. Ross still has got his front wing intact, so I think Ralph having an incident, maybe going too wide down his turn 10, but you can see Floricon missing a bit of his front wing as well. And I've got to say, it was a pretty clean start, I might say. We had one spin of Wazza, unfortunate for him, but doesn't have any front wing damage, so didn't hit the wall at great speed. And will anyone be brave enough now to come into the pits and go for Indus? It still looks a bit too wet at the moment. You see the big winners of the first lap. We got RG Matey up to P6. We got Fricon up to up to P6. Yeah, Fricon up to P9, up 4 places, and the 2 cars further at the back gaining places. But quite a few losers out on that lap. So Till managed to get back past Bacostas, who had a really poor exit out of turn 5, and into the pit lane we have Bogorovsky and Fricon, and broke Gorilla as well. So is it front wing damage for these guys? We got definitely 4. Yeah, I think all of them getting rid of their front wing. Of course, having no front wing at Singapore, even when it's dry, is hard enough. So in the wet, you're definitely going to be wanting a front wing. But I think we'll have this lap under the safety car, and we'll probably get racing on the following lap as a guess. But Madchip, so far it's been perfect for him, leading the way, and with Bogorovsky down in 14th and Nailboy down in 10th. So far, Madchip Buchanan will be very happy sat where he is sat watching the race at the moment. We'll see Law having a good qualifying, holding on to that P4. Mikey's still in P5, very much in the hunt, and was looking very racy on the opening lap. So RTG Matey seemed to have all the confidence in that first sector and managed to get up in a P6. Great stuff for him, but very unfortunate for Ralph and retiring on lap 1 down at turn 10. I didn't quite see what happened, but so it's quite hard to tell whether the weather's drying up in Singapore, completely pitch black sky, but I would quite like to see a bit of changeable conditions, and that will throw definitely a spanner in the works going to Inters and maybe even to slicks later on. Of course, we've still got 29 laps left of racing. We'll see further down the field, these guys are, well, they're allowed to go as fast as they want ultimately, so this will actually be a really good chance for them just to get a couple more laps under wet running, get a bit more confidence in the wet conditions, and they could make very good progress off the start, especially with 1 lap fresher tyres as well. whilst they're going full throttle, I need to make sure they don't have any incidents all out on their own. And oh, you got Ralph in the chat, and I'd love to know what happened down at turn 10, Ralph, if you don't mind explaining. Yeah, a bit of clarification on what went down at on that first lap. Unfortunately, missed it, so we were focusing on a battle further up the field. Oh, and Nelboy's got a 5-second penalty. Oh no, Crankybot's got the penalty, sorry, Crankybot's got the penalty for colliding with Nelboy, and he's got big front wing damage. Has the Williams driver. And under safety car conditions, we know it's tough. Sometimes when the concertina effect starts, but especially in the wet conditions, and that is big damage for the Williams driver, and compounded with a penalty as well. So I think he might be coming to the pit lane at the end of this lap. He'll be hoping that we have another lap under the safety car, so we can get rid of that damage. Under safety car conditions, rather than while everyone's at racing speed. But the back three closing up to the back of the field, slowly but surely, and hopefully for our sake we can get racing this lap. At Crankybot, we're hoping we have one more lap under the safety car. So Ralph tried to avoid a collision with his teammate, and going off track, had absolutely no grip, and I think just hit the wall, maybe locking up a touch as well. So really unfortunate for him, but fair play, playing the team game and avoiding his teammate. So Nelboy will probably thank him for that, because he's still in the race in P10 at the moment, so currently getting a single point. We'll have to see what can happen on the restart. And the safety car is in this lap, so Madship becomes the effective safety car, and he'll back the pack up. And under wet conditions, those tyres are going to cool down very quickly as they go at these slow speeds. We'll have to see when he decides to bolt. We'll pop on his telemetry, so we know when the Mercedes driver decides to go. Of course, safety car was only just going underneath the grandstand now, so it's not very far ahead, and he's back in the pack right up down at below 80 kilometres an hour. And everyone right up behind Pecostas. P3 who's back in the pack up himself, and that's not helping out further back. And the gap between Tatil and Pecostas is almost 4 seconds now on the Delta, and this is when Madship decides to go. And it's been a fantastic restart from the Mercedes drivers. Tatil following him right behind, but Pecostas caught napping, it seems. And if you look further back down the field, there's a lot of cars, right all over each other, as the pack got backed up massively by Pecostas, and he's caused a big concertina effect. As into the pit lane comes Crankybot, getting rid of that front wing damage. So far everyone keeping it pretty clean. Nelboy's run off down his turn when he just about holds onto P10. Wazza can't capitalise on that, but he's right on the back of Kalau at the moment. We've got Ross trying to find a way past Nova's gone very wide, losing the rear end, holds it just about now. And RTD Matey, I think, has had the same issue, but he was not near anyone at that moment, and Nova's lost the place to Ross. So the Red Bull driver moving up into P7. See further back, can Wazza find a way past Nelboy? Not on this occasion too far back as they go down into turn 7. It's the case of who has the most confidence at this phase of the race, and Wazza now really closing up on the racing point, not being able to find a way past just yet further at the field. Mikey looking confident in these these wet conditions, but running very wide down into turn 10, and just about avoids the wall. We've got yellow flag in sector 1 because Crankybot has had an issue all on his own, and he needs to be careful not to ruin that front wing he's only just put on. We see further back in the field, Nelboy defending from Wazza. I think Wazza might have tried to send one up the inside, and we have a virtual safety car because broke Gorillas out of the race. Down at turn 10 it seems to be, that's where everyone's retiring at the moment. And he might have had the same issues as Mikey did, running wide down there. I don't think we're going to see the stricken Alfa Romeo, but turn 10 seems to be the dangerous point at the moment, as cars getting good exits off turn 9, and that's straight allowing people to battle over. Who's going to get a good jump off the VSC now? Through the field, they're going to be in a very tricky place, and Law trying to keep close to the back of Pecostas. Mikey doing the same to the Renault driver. Turn 10 seems to be a very tricky point at the moment in this race for the guys. And Wazza did manage to get past Nailboy in the end. Magic was the fastest lap of the race, which is 2 minutes at the moment. And we'll... what was the max amount of safety cars and virtual safety cars? I don't actually know, as Nailboy had a big moment. He's actually coming into pit lane, so I think he's got a bit of damage on his racing point. Mikey right on the back of Laura has not had the best of restarts. And that gap between Pecostas and Satil getting ever bigger after Pecostas' poor safety car restart. I believe off the top of my head it's 4. You can't have more than 4 safety cars. And now Mikey on the back of Law. Can he get up in 4th place? The Toro Rosso driver goes on the outside of turn 6, of course switches to the inside for turn 7, but I think he plays the sensible card and just hangs back for the time being. I think he knows he's quicker than the Renault driver. As Nailboy, I think, just about to come out the pit lane now, is going to be ahead of Crankybot after Crankybot's incident down at turn 1. But Mikey keeping close with that Renault, and Pecostas will be trying to close that gap. So he's now down to 2.8 seconds as things stand. We might have a train forming for 3rd. The gap's all starting to spread out a touch now, as I think the spray might be affecting things a touch. Pecostas gets a good launch out of the hairpin, and means Law can't close in on this occasion, but the gap is underneath a second at the moment, so we're utilising a bit of slipstream. Of course, no DRS at this stage of the race, and very tricky down into turn 14. It's another corner you can very easily just go straight on at. And further down the field, Archimate having a bit of a slide as he comes towards where you go underneath the grandstand. You start to see you know, the Ferris wheel on the end of the lap. They're very tricky at the moment, and Kalau, I don't think, completely comfortable, and Crankybot's had a moment on his own, I think, down at turn 7. It gets away with anything. Everyone going wide now, and now Bogros is trying to find a way past the Ferrari. They're going to be racing side by side, I think. Matchip's in the pit lane. Oh, and Pecostas has gone off. Down at the final corner, he's got his front wing, but had a massive issue there. Matchip's onto intermediate tyres, and I think we might be seeing the switch to intermediates. Lots of people coming in at the moment, and we've got Satil coming in for inters as well. I don't know what happened to Pecostas, losing out big time to Law, Mikey and Archimate. But intermediate tyres for Matchip and Satil, and Nova following suit as well. Have to see how their lap times fell. But Ross has actually come into the pit lane, but gone on to the wet tyres. Pecostas getting back past Archimate, but Archimate up in an overtake. Can he find a way past the McLaren? He's going to try and look around the outside, but hangs back sensibly as Pecostas trying to rectify from his mistake down at the final corner. And Archimate closing up very, very rapidly further back. And we've got Bogrossi and Fricon also coming in for intermediate tyres, so we might start to be seeing the switch now. As Archimate still battling away with Pecostas. Pecostas not had the greatest of exit. Can Archimate squeeze one around the outside and to turn 10? I think that's not the place to do the overtake, as we've seen so far today. And we're starting to see the transition. The rain still looks to be coming down at the same level. And if we look at the times, we've got Matchip. Matchip is closing in on Wazza, but I think it is still very tricky under traction. We see Mikey making a small mistake, I think, out of a hairpin, and that's allowing Pecostas to close up. Can he send one down the inside into turn 14? Not quite at the moment. And Matchip, yeah, definitely is closing in on Wazza. But further up, these guys battling away on the wet tyres, and I think it might be time for intermediates. Trying to send one up the inside, there is Pecostas, and he gets a time penalty, and so does Archimate. Very harsh from the penalty system. Both of them get 5 seconds added to their race time, and I think it might just be time for intermediate conditions as they head a small break as they go underneath the grandstand. But Mikey looking very cautious under traction. Matchip's all over the back of Wazza now. Will he send one down the inside? Not at the moment, I'm sure. Well, these guys come into the pit lane. Mikey's coming into the pit lane, and so is Pecostas, who just about avoids. No, he doesn't. He goes into the back of Archimate is staying out. Law's coming to the pit lane, and Matchip has managed to get past Wazza right at the end of that. Bogros has got past Nailboy as well, as the intermediate tyres have come alive as the rain has all of a sudden died down massively. A lot of cars into the pit lane, and it was the perfect call from Matchip and Satil, who are now pushing away, going purple as well. And surely this could help Bogorowski try and get past a few cars, as everybody is coming into the pits, and Ross staying out. Of course, he put fresh wets on, so he's going to be gaining from this, and Going very wide into turn one, and he's losing the rear end, and he spun round, and needs to be very careful now. And the McLaren of Nova just about avoiding him, and he's racing Mikey, who's just come out the pit lane. Yellow flag to sector one for Ross spinning, and Bogorossi now is going to be challenging cars straight out the box. He's been on those tyres for a lap. He knows what the track feels like under intermediate conditions, and he's up into P9, so he's gained massively because he was quite far down the field before the change to intermediate conditions. But Madship and Satil have called it perfectly, as they're now 8 seconds ahead of Law, who is in an effective P3 position. But a very sudden change to the track conditions here, and definitely drying out. I think the rain is dying down, and of course we can start to see the dry line, or the drier line, start to form. But yes, Ross's tyres are going to start to really overheat now, and I think he's starting to feel it. Losing the rear end a bit, and I think that is Frickin, who's gone straight on down at turn 8, and that could allow Wazza to come past. And RTG Matey as I think having the same problems as Ross, and Madship and Satil close the gap very, very quickly and have got past the Haas driver, and staying out another lap has really cost him, as he's really struggling at the moment. You see that gap back to Law closing down rapidly. I mean, every time it changes, it's a couple of tenths. See, now down to 7.6 as Pecostas and Ross, because Ross is really struggling as well. Pecostas goes clean around the outside, and will Ross hold up his teammate? I think Bogorossi was allowed, thinking he might get a bit more room to go past, and Ross does let him through very fairly. But Fricon going off again, and just avoids losing a wheel there as he taps the wall, but hasn't got a front wing completely now, so he's struggling on those intermediate conditions. But RTG Matey into the pit lane and surely coming in for intermediate tyres, as Madship gets a 3-second time penalty as well for track limits. And serving a penalty is RTG Matey, of course, that 5-second one he got for a corner cut earlier on. But going on to intermediate tyres, and this could cost him actually staying out that extra lap, because he was battling away with Law and Mikey. So that extra lap really costing the Haas driver, as Ross gets a penalty for speeding the pit lane, getting rid of those wet tyres. I mean, he's only been on them 2 laps. So not the best strategy call from the Red Bull driver, but I think maybe just not having the confidence to be one of the first to go onto the wets. But the person who seems to be flying at the moment on the inters is Satil, who's really closed up to Madship. And can Satil try and find a way past? He's setting fastest sector times here, there and everywhere. And Satil currently is 12th in the championship, only 13 points to his name. Been a bit unlucky when he's had good qualifyings. So far is at the point of rectifying that here today. Currently in P2, his points tally after today will be more than double what it originally was. That will really help him in the fight for some of those midfield places. Law having a good race in third, is losing touch, I think, to the top 2 slightly. Gap 11 seconds at the moment. As we have a yellow flag, and who is that? It's Nova, who's gone straight on, and he's got front wing damage on that McLaren. And after someone who definitely benefited from the pit stop window, might have to come straight back in after being on those laps. He pitted same lap as Satil and Madship, and going off again, and following him in is Kalau, and Wazza goes clean around his outside now. I think Kalau might be into the pit lane as well with front wing damage, and RTG Matey could be benefiting from 2 places. Of course, he pitted on the last lap, having hit his front wing, but Mikey sets the fastest lap of the race, and Satil on the back of Madship. So Mikey closing in on Law, and we've got Satil closing in on Madship. As Pecostas gets past his teammate, of course, coming into the pit lane, but Satil closing in on that, well, what would be the DRS straight, but just not close enough at the moment. Going purple in that first sector. So it's great pace, and go into the back, completely missed his braking point, and still goes into the back of the Mercedes, and I think he does have front wing damage now. Completely just missing his braking point. Oh no, he doesn't have front wing, does he? I think he does. He does have front wing damage, missing that right end fence. See where are these guys going to come out? 9th and 10th. Caloud's coming to pit lane now, and that's going to allow Nailboy to get past. He'll slot out just behind the McLaren. He's going to try and go around the outside now of Nova, but not quite at the moment. So Till seemed to have, he does have better pace than Madship. I think, we could see that visually, but missing that front wing now. It's going to be a big ask for the Alfa Romeo driver. Just went in a little bit too hot, and can Nova try and get the place back of Nelboy. See, that gap is increasing. I think Nelboy using a bit more ERS at this time, but still really holding on there. And CrankyBot's had a small issue. He's almost about to be lapped on a lap 9. We've got 2 battles forming right at the front. And yeah, Madship was lucky not to be in the wall there. Of course, that's a very slow corner and very difficult. And Zatil staying out for the time being. We've got Mikey right on the back of Law, is not finding great pace at the moment on these intermediate tyres, and Mikey seems to be a man on a charge, trying to hunt after a first podium of this season. He's currently the highest driver in the championship, actually, without a podium. So if you're looking at a podium finish today, would be his first in RLH. We have a virtual safety car. We have a virtual safety car, and as I was looking at the championship, I do not know what it's for. No one's retired. No one seems to be missing the complete front wing. I mean, Nelboy's missing a bit of front wing, but I think he already had that. Oh, and it's Wazza. Wazza is front wingless, and that's allowed Bogrov to get up into P6. But I think the incident there caused by Wazza, as he just about gets it into the pit lane. But the rain does seem to be dying off. I did think when they came intermediate conditions, and we're racing once again, green flag conditions here at Singapore, and who's managed to get the best restart? I mean, absolute. Who's that? It's Law and Mikey battling away. Mikey's got a good restart, but Law in that second phase of the restart, making sure Mikey doesn't get past. But Mikey seems to have great closing speed as Wazza's into the pit lane to get rid of that damage. Oh, and further down the field, I think that might. Oh, and spinning off his CrankyBot. Luckily, the 2 leaders weren't affected by that. CrankyBot is out of the race down there at the hairpin, and it's going to be interesting for these two. And he's gone on, hit the right-hand side. Mikey still keeping in touch with Law. Who crashed in the barrier. Yeah, I think it was. Oh, Mikey! Oh no, Mikey! No! He's hit the barrier down at turn 14, and it's front wing damage for. Oh, and further back we've got Nelboy, and Nelboy's managed to get past Nova, I think. And Kalau is out. Oh no, Kalau has had an internet issue, it seems. Smallington's going up and down the field as Mikey losing out massively, and he's going to go into the wall again, and that's going to be more front wing damage for Mikey. And after he was having such a great race in P4, looking to get himself up into the podium places, and not ideal for the Toro Rosso drivers, who unfortunately for them have a little bit of misfortunes cost them in so far in the race. And they'll be hoping for another safety car. Fingers, Nelboy's out. Nelboy's out, and he's in the wall. He's glitching away in the wall. We'll try and see that, but saw him very briefly. And I think he's out of the race. He's gone off into the wall there, and he's on the left-hand side. And Nelboy is out, so that is massive for the championship. And everyone falling victim to the barriers at the moment. As Mikey just serving a time penalty, you might see him there, or maybe actually the front wing change, of course. But now we have 12 drivers left in the race, and we're racing again out of VSC conditions. Surprised Till didn't come in for get rid of that wing damage. He's losing touch at the moment, but still in P2, and the rain has stopped here. Actually, we talked about a couple of moments ago. It was definitely dying down, and I think we could be going on to slicks in the next couple of laps. Next sort of 5 laps, I'd expect everybody to be on slick tyres. And further down the field, Nova's lost out of turn 5, and that's allowed Ross to get past the McLaren driver. Everyone's spread out quite a bit as people clipping the walls. Mikey, to be fair to him, he's come out in P7, so not all is lost in this race. And of course, with slicks to come later on, I think we could see a very interesting, phase of the race develop. See who's got the wet setups on and who's going to have the dry setups on, and the wet pace to dry pace could be very different as we get to that phase of the race. But yeah, definitely drying up here in Singapore, and I think we're going to be on to the. Oh, and Ross losing the back end there out of turn 10, but holds on to it very well indeed, and he holds on to that P8 that he gained, of course, a couple of laps ago, a couple of corners ago. But Madchip's having the perfect race so far in P1. I'm pretty sure he's pretty much led from start to finish. And this will be big for him as well in the championship. Currently in P5, so we're looking to try and battle away with those, and maybe even sneak himself. Oh, and Law's onto mediums. Law is to come onto mediums, and with that spray, surely it's too early. I've got a feeling he might have been listening to Jeff. RTG Matey sets the fastest lap of the race on fresh. Oh no, not even on fresh inters. He's just comfortable at the moment on the conditions, but it'd be really interesting to follow Law now. You can see the spray kicking up there. I think he might have listened to Jeff, which is never a wise choice. And that gap from Mikey, I mean, we're just going to see it absolutely close now. As you can see, he can't even go full throttle into the corners. And what's Ross deciding to do? Down in P9, surely not another driver. He's gone on to the hard. I mean, they're even harder to control in the wet. I mean, you've got to respect the bravery of some of these guys going on to slicks, but that gap from Mikey was 23 seconds, and look at it now, it's dropping seconds every single time it changes. It's too early for dries, and Law, after a fantastic opening couple of laps, has pulled the trigger a little bit too early and losing massive time. Mikey's closing up onto him at a rate of knots. And we've got Fricken coming to the pit lane as well. I think he might have a bit of front wing damage on that Ferrari. And when he comes into slicks as well, and Mikey, see the gap now, 4 seconds between him and Law, and it is too early. Fricken's come onto mediums as well. Very interesting calls. Mikey accidentally goes down into neutral there. But you can see they got 2.9 seconds now. It's too early for medium tyres. The rain has stopped, but the track has not dried up yet. And with 12 cars going around, it's not going to dry up as quickly as some of them would be wanting. Going straight on there is Law. I think a lock up and accepting the fact he was not going to make the corner. So a wise decision. But sadly, he didn't quite make the same wise decision. Putting on the mediums and going off there is Fricken. I think those, yeah, it's not mediums. It's not time for mediums. And Nova getting past Law as well. And Wazza doing the same. But who is going to be the next to come in for mediums? I mean, you can still see the spray. It's you know, it's way too early. You know, I'd probably say 3 more laps. You know, maybe more. It'd be interesting whether these guys decide to come into the pit lane for inters, because they are just losing time hand over fist at the moment. And even Ghost Guy will be coming past Law at this rate. But Madchip at the front, I think maybe he's got a buffer. I think he might have had a slight moment out of there. And who's gone off there? I think it is Ross on the hards, and he's lost a bit of front wing. We've got Law coming to pit lane, maybe for inters now. And Ross now being lapped, and with big front wing damage, I think he'll be coming to pit lane as well for intermediate tyres. And Madchip has lost a couple of seconds. I think maybe just negotiating Ross, and also a small mistake out of the hairpin. He's got all his front wing on the front of his car at the moment. We've got yellow flag in sector 2, and it's the Ferrari again of Fricken who's lost it just before the Anderson Bridge, and it's front wing damage for him as well. So nobody that's gone on to slicks faring well at the moment. And who's that into Law into pit lane? Surely he's gone on to hards. He'd be quick. He probably would be quicker just to do 3 laps on the inters, and then come on to slicks when it's ready. I mean, we're not even halfway through this race yet. And look at the field, it's so spread out at the moment. Madchip in control at the moment, and to tilt and going off again. It's Fricken losing all of the front wing now. Down at turn 14, I think that's Mikey who gets past to lap him now. But Madchip, I think a sensible play from Madchip now will be to react to what everyone else does. If he sees to tilt, also react to the DRS enabled sign. That's, you know, normally the signifier for when the track is dry enough. And yeah, I'll send you an invite, and we can make this a double stream for the remainder half of this race as we go on to slick conditions. And Flickerman's got a 3-second time penalty in the meantime, and Mikey into the pit lane as well for hard tyres. The track looking a little bit dry. There's not as much spray as there was previously, but Mikey making a bold move. And Flickerman's gone onto softs as well, and I think that was Law going off. So Law's race slightly falling apart after what was a great opening stint for him on those wets. And it's not ready. Pecostas is out. Oh, that's big. Pecostas has gone straight on down at turn 14.
Hello.
Hello, Gexy. Are you in the session?
No, I don't think I can even join now that I think of it.
Oh, I can't invite you, can I?
I don't think so.
No, I haven't got any options to invite you.
Well then, I think no one who's DNF'd can invite as well.
I don't know.
The rest is racing, so I guess I can't even join.
Oh god, we have a safety car. I've completely missed that.
Oh, okay. Might be able to ask someone to send an invite.
Yes, while it's under safety car condition, but Cecile coming into the pit lane for mediums. And surely now this is the time to come in for slicks. I think everyone is doing that. Apart from Magic, he might have been a bit too far round to do that. Bog obviously coming in for mediums as well. And going to the end on mediums is definitely doable at this point in the race. Oh, and Wazza gets a drive through.
I asked if someone can send an invite, we'll see.
Okay, cool. This is gonna, I mean, Ross and the other two down in 10th, 11th and 12th, over a lap down, so I don't know if they're gonna be able to get on the lead lap at the moment, but surely now this is the time where the track will dry up. I think we might see we've got a lot of cars in the pit lane. Bogrush up to 4th, keeping it nice and clean. Nova's gone on to the hards, and so has Kalau in 7th. It was Ghost Kalau. And Law gets to drive through just to add to his woes in the second half of this race. Oh, and Tatil's out. Oh, Tatil's gone off. Tatil's gone off down at turn 14 under the safety car, and he's gone off into the barriers and he's out of the race. Hit the wall on the left-hand side.
During the safety car.
Oh, and Ross has gone straight into the back of his Ghost.
Oh wow, I've got
and again.
So that's Satil crashed during the safety car.
Yeah, he's gone straight on at turn 14 into that barrier.
Oh shit.
From P2 as well.
Okay, I'm in the lobby.
Nice.
Costa send me an invite. That's a load of DNFs. Okay, here we go.
We've got Madship, who's now 1 minute and 20 clear. So we could be under the safety car for quite a while.
Oh, 1 minute 20. If the safety car wasn't a thing, that would have been probably the biggest lead in RLH history.
But I mean, it was a couple of moments ago that I thought Mikey's race had fallen apart. He's now up to 4th. Bogrof's has come out of absolutely nowhere and he's in 3rd, just keeping it clean. So some guys benefiting massively from these incidents, and now a safety car.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be running full downforce or very close to full downforce, since the race was wet for half of it. So I think a few guys will be, using wet setup.
I think the big difference, where we see the difference is down the straights. I think some people might end up being, sitting ducks slightly, running higher wings compared to others, and running the wet setup. So
yeah.
that could cost them. But
Well,
Magic will not be happy with this. Oh, and
Oh,
the safety car
Matchup.
stopped. The safety car's hit something invisible.
I can see. Matchup is very confused. Now let's see if Mate can get there on time. Oh, there's the Renault Lars coming that way. Yeah.
Oh, Matchup's been disqualified. I don't think he has, because I've seen this before.
No, but what are we gonna do?
The safety car's stuck. Because I think it's stuck behind like an invisible Satil, because Ross hit it as well.
Mate is driving past now. Let's see what he witnesses. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, he's very confused.
So's Bog. I think Bog's just going to go.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest decision, but he has to let Mate pass, I think. Yeah, see, Groski's going backwards to let Mate pass. And now Ross. Yeah, disqualified, wrong way.
The problem is though, we've had this before. I can't remember what it was. It was a race I commentated on, but you're not actually disqualified. Oh no, he has been disqualified.
He is.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he was driving backwards. He was trying to let Mate pass because he was behind him in the grid, so otherwise he would have gotten a penalty. Mikey now as well disqualified, I think.
Singapore is so glitched.
Should we... How are we gonna restart? Yeah, everyone is disqualified.
Yeah. I mean...
This is restart material,
what's the procedure? Do we 25% race or?
If it was my race, I would think 25% because it's almost half of the race.
Yeah.
And then just everyone starts on the tires they were on right now. So Satil mediums, Florica on softs, Julianus on hards. I think that would work, but it's very bad time. Well, everyone has pitted, but it's very dumb, of course. Matej still...
He's still sat behind the safety car.
He's now driving there. Matchup also still going. Yeah, I'll check the Discord if there's been any decision made by the...
Yeah, or we just take the results from before the safety car came out. I mean, that's another possibility.
Yeah, Bogroski is consulting for a minute.
Matey's been probably disqualified as well now. We now have 5 drivers left. I bet it must be so confusing being on track right now, because Law doesn't know what to do and he's just gone past the safety car. But reversing on track, which is could end up with a disqualification in a moment's time. Oh, and then Ross has retired because he's hit the safety car.
Oh, yeah, this is hopeless.
Now boys gassed because he's 8th after not finishing earlier on.
Yeah, Lars now up for a podium. That's something. Yeah, Bogrovsky is just taking his time to make a good decision. I can see him just cancelling the race or giving the 25% race a go.
Or we have a 5-lapper and just best of 5 laps.
Yeah.
No, I think it's 25% or take it where it is.
Yeah, here 4 cars still. Florica now also disqualified. Wrong way.
So we now have
only a podium.
We now have the podium.
Thank you guys for watching. Let's do some interviews.
I mean, I know I've seen glitches on this track, but I've never seen this.
Yeah, this is very. I know that those barriers in sector 2 and start sector 2 and end sector 2, those barriers are very glitchy. Because during C3 we had 2 sticking out and quality.
Yeah.
Also, but I think the safety car hit it or something. I don't think the safety car should even follow the racing line. It should just stay in the middle of the track. Because he was so close to the wall, I guess. Or not even. It looked like he just hit something invisible. But yeah, here we have matchup Julianus and Lars still. making it look like the safety car is there, but
Yeah, because it was Satil who hit the wall, and I think that might have caused something invisible to be there. And then it was Ross who went into the back of him, but the invisible part of him or something that was blocking him. And I think the safety car's just gone into the same thing, and obviously doesn't have a reverse gear. You know, it probably, you know, it never needs to reverse, does it?
yeah, no, I think Bogorowski got disqualified because of Matej. Matej was slowing down, and Bogorowski drove forward, and then Bogorowski was going reverse to let him by because he would have gotten a penalty, but then he was going backwards, of course. And that's a disqualification for a good amount of people. Now,
I guess we just have to wait for a decision at this point.
yeah, Bogorowski is asking questions in the Discord.
I'll have a look myself. I think he's just making sure who was in the race.
Satil caused the safety car, right? Or no, he crashed on his own, Satil, right?
He was the cause of the safety car, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, I think Law's now just doing a bit of experimenting and seeing what the safety car does, because the safety car is still going full throttle.
Oh yeah. There's a load of smoke. Now just watch him do donuts in a bit.
Bert Marlin, he didn't want to come out earlier. He was, we should have had the safety car about 3 or 4 times, and he was not coming out. And when he does, he can't be asked.
There's not even a barrier over there.
No, I
Very
don't know.
good job by Codemasters. I hope this is not the case in the new game.
This is a great advert for the new game, isn't it?
Yeah, just F1
Play
2020
F1.
on top of it. There we go. Now available. Yeah, Lars' lap has been going on for 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, he's a lap down now. Or laps down. But I think
The Nellboy won't race. He was out, he said.
we're not having a sprint race, it seems. So at this point is I think whatever happens at the moment, it's definitely Madchip who deserves the win, and he's been faultless.
Yeah, 1 minute 20 gap or something to Lar.
Yeah,
what
and
car was it?
it was him and Satil were a class of their own until Satil hit the wall. And I mean, yeah.
Question is, how is Lar not being disqualified for stopping on track? That's also okay. Here we go. Matchup and Chilianos.
This would be interesting.
Ghost Nova is still a thing.
Is he?
Yeah, Ghost Nova is here. He wasn't there last week because of connection issues.
Yeah.
That matchup was taking a look for a second.
Well, I assume they're going slow enough they can try and follow what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think the good decision would be 25% race, but no points. Because
We just scrap this round completely.
Yeah, and maybe do 25% race to have something still, but I don't. Yeah, this is just.
Oh, Satil's posted a video in the C5 chat, I think, of what might have just happened.
Oh, let's take.
Oh, the barrier's just in the middle of the track when he went round there. So I think he didn't bring the safety car out. I can't even remember who brought the safety car out. But he literally the barrier is sat on the racing line.
Yeah.
And he just hits it.
See. Yeah, that's very glitchy.
Because of course in some parts of Europe it's probably too late to race again, isn't it? That's what some people are saying.
Not a 50% race, that's for
No.
sure. They would, or postpone to tomorrow and try it again, or 25%, or maybe just cancel the entire event.
And then you've got the question of some people might be in Formula 2 as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. How is Lars still in? He's standing pretty still on track.
He's probably just God. I mean,
Yeah, he's gonna get a drink.
because I guess for these three it's a case of they don't want to, you know, they don't want to just retire and because you know in case something magical happens. And
Yeah.
everyone. I mean, personally, if I was in the situation, I'd just keep going until I was told not to.
Yeah, I would keep going as well. But I don't know. That's I don't think. Let's take a look at Matchip's live stream. I follow him on Twitch.
Yes.
Let's see what he's thinking.
I'll have a look as well if we can try and go back and see the see it all unfold.
Oh, he has the stream over here.
It's nice. It's nice he's got his Twitch username right. You know, top of my TV screen right now as well.
Yeah, there he is. How is it going, Matchip? Yeah, there. It's yeah, I can see it's a bit glitchy, but Bogrovsky's making a decision, so we'll see. Yeah, I see. Very good quality stream, of course.
I think we might be getting a decision soon.
Yeah, I'll check the Discord. Or he will tag everyone. Okay, let's just quit that stream. Yeah, Bobrovsky is also amazed this never happened to him, I think.
No, I mean, this must be unprecedented. Like,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, but Bacosa's saying it was sometimes it was ghosted and then sometimes it was solid, and you can't see it when you turn in.
Yeah, I think it's different between people. I think it's invisible for some people, and then for the others it's straight onto the track.
Yeah, because
For me it's invisible.
Yeah, I don't think I can see it. The safety car's blocking it a bit, but it was like when we had the invisible barriers in C3, I avoided them like where they would be just in case, because it's happened to me before when you know it's completely invisible and you hit it and you're out.
Yeah.
Matchup's about to come up to it once again.
There we go, Mr. Matchup in the Mercedes. Having a wonderful time.
Beautiful line through there.
He's been in the lead for quite a while now. I want to see him try to set the fastest lap.
I don't know what the fastest lap is. I'll try and have a look.
I don't know.
He has it. It's a 42.5.
Ah, okay. Try to improve Matchup. Here you go. Oh wait, I think he will save ERS for one more lap and then he can try.
You might as well go for softs, can't you, surely?
It was pretty close, 8/10 off.
Of course, he's got a much difficult. You know, he's got quite a difficult line through turn 14.
Can he pit for softs?
I assume so. This reminds me of the 20 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. We just have to talk about something.
Yeah, that was also wet.
Yeah, and and then dried out.
Yeah, it's a little bit like this race. Also, same amount of chaos, I think. But
Yes. Matchip didn't hit his teammate though, so and he's only pitted I think twice rather than 7 times.
yeah, I think the race will be cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bogrovsky's, I think, typing is fine.
Yeah, I can see it as well.
Okay, Matchup, you have to listen very carefully. Bogrovsky is about to say what will happen with your massive lead. He's probably lapped quite a few people now.
I've got a feeling we're gonna take the results from pre-chaos.
Yeah.
But of course, no, that's unfortunate because some guys would have probably done better and improved positions, but we've got to take the results from somewhere.
He's trying the fastest lap now. Let's
He is
see
now, yeah. He's
okay,
up in an overtake.
Below the curb, very nice.
I'll put the lap data up for him. Gets on the power nice and early. Should have let Nova pass, try and get a slipstream.
Yeah.
Down into
110 faster.
He just needs to make sure he doesn't bit it in the wall while he's doing this.
Oh, he doesn't want to hit the safety car now that I think of it. Beautiful.
Perfect bit of curb there, slight bit of curb on the left hand side. Nice late apex for the hairpin. And now the tricky corner. Nice, look at that, perfect.
Beautiful. That would be a cool addition to the track, the safety car over there. Okay, let's see what time we'll set.
He's gonna come round. Here we go. He's done it.
Yes, a second faster. Okay, Bogrovsky says his final decision. Unfortunately, in circumstances like these, there's no perfect solution. There will be no full restart of the race or a short new race. We will red flag it from the point the safety car is caused and take these results as finals. These results as final, minus the one who caused it since he was DNF. There will be no full points awarded, but half the normal points. So the race is cancelled and half the points will go out from the grid before the safety car went out.
Well, that's normal protocol anyway, isn't it? If you don't make 75% of the race, it's half points, and we didn't. So, well, I guess that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, match if you can crash into the wall if you wanna.
Yeah, you get 12.5 points.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You have a win on your name, Matchup, so
it will win, yes. A very deserved win.
Tatil, well, I think he will be out. I don't know. Okay, Matchup, show us your best crash.
Oh no, into the safety car, please.
Oh wait, in the Discord they are considering doing a race for fun.
Should we stream it? I'm happy to stream it.
If there's a race for fun, sure. We will just stay live and
yeah.
do
that. Yeah. I mean, if you want to take part, by all means.
No, of course not. I'm not C5.
No, I think it's just a fun race.
Yeah, but I think it's a C5.
Oh, C5 fun race, alright.
I'm C3, so I don't want to take pole.
Spag wants to join and he's C1, so...
Yeah, okay.
Does Magic know we've finished the race?
I don't know, Matchup. Crash, come on. Nah, he's trying one more lap, I think.
What did he get? A 41-1 or something?
Yeah,
41.5.
Yeah.
I don't even think Law's at his wheel or pad or anything. Because surely he would have just retired by now.
Yeah. Oh, Nova left. I think he's trying another fast lap.
6/10 down at the moment. Hasn't got any ERS.
He should box for the softs.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. While we see if there's going to be a fun race at the end.
Oh, okay, that was a good one. Yep, very nice. That was a 55-minute lap. No, 55
second.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
That's a 55-minute lap, right? It says 55, 48 seconds.
Where?
That's a long... I don't think it's been an hour, right?
I think it's been an hour. I don't know. Law's been sat behind the safety car for about 16 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at this point, we're just watching Law sat behind the safety car.
Yeah, what's he doing? Is he having a beer or something? He's having the time of his life. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna message if we should stop the stream.
Yeah.
And we might come back for a fun race in a moment, but God knows. I mean, look, yeah, Law is technically in the lead right now. I don't know. I don't know if it's his first time leading a race or.
I don't know.
Okay, Bog says we'll stop the stream. So I mean, thanks for watching. I guess the first half of the race, and
yeah.
half points. I can't even apart from Magic winning. I don't even know what the rest of the order will be. But half points, and of course we go to Suzuka next week, where the championship is still on. I think Magic Poopcan has benefited from this massively. I think.
Oh, he isn't here. Yeah.
He's not here, so sadly Bogrovsky and Nelboy didn't gain. But I mean, I don't know where they're going to end up in the final order. So maybe they're going to get some points. But well, thanks for watching, everyone. I apologise for the issues, but I guess we'll see everyone next week for the final round of the Asia Cup in Suzuka. And I'll stop the stream there.